Good evening and thank you for joining us on the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. I'm your regular guide, Gabriel Ojile. Tonight on the program, our focus will again be on the major research breakthroughs achieved by Nigeria Agricultural Research Institutes. This time around, attention will be on research institutes carrying out researches into cash crops farming and how the outcomes have impacted in the agricultural space and the nation's economy. Details of this will come shortly. But before then, let's begin the program with news from the diary of the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. From the north to the south of Nigeria lies over 70 million hectares of arable agricultural land, a country teeming with agricultural potentials, where crops like rice, maize, wheat, sorghum, cassava, yams, fruits, and vegetables thrive. Vast opportunities abound in cash crop production like oil palm, cocoa, cashew, rubber along the value chain and a temperate weather for healthy livestock rearing. Invest today in production, processing and marketing of agricultural produce. Invest for wealth creation, job opportunities and upliftment of livelihoods. Agriculture in Nigeria, where return on investment is guaranteed. In the lineup on News Diary, stakeholders endorse new strategy to enhance oil palm value chain. Stakeholders in oil palm value chain converged in Abuja to validate Nigeria's oil palm development strategy being developed by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and other stakeholders.
If they are left behind, the sector cannot grow in a meaningful and inclusive way.
Speaking during the validation workshop organized by the ministry, the Minister of State, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, said the Nigeria oil palm value chain has a lot of potentials and the new development strategy being championed by the ministry is designed to further enhance the oil palm value chain and create 2 million jobs within the next 6 years.
We must therefore focus on empowering smallholder farmers with improved seedlings, extension services, access to finance, aggregation support, processing facilities, market access, and technical training. This transformation must be inclusive. It must create opportunity not just for large investors, but also for rural farmers, women, youth, the physically challenged, and everybody.
Also speaking at the meeting, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Marcus Olani Ogumbi, appreciated the consultants and the commodity associations for their inputs and urged them to refine the document in order to achieve the desired result for the oil palm value chain in Nigeria.
Today's validation meeting is therefore a critical step in ensuring that the strategy is comprehensive, it is practical, inclusive, and responsive to the realities of the sector. I encourage all participants to engage openly, constructively, and patriotically, so that together we can produce a final document that will truly serve as a roadmap for the transformation of Nigeria's oil palm industry.
In his remarks, the chairman, Oil Palm Growers Association of Nigeria, Joe Onyuike, appreciated the ministry for the effort to enhance the oil palm industry and called for local investment and more attention to research.
We need local investors. It's good to have foreign investors, but local investors must drive this policy. We must have our local investors invest in our country, because nobody outside can invest in your country. No matter what, they cannot love you more than you love yourself. So when you invest in your country and you show positive results, then you can attract the investment from abroad. You can't just come empty-handed and beg, come and help me.
Cash crops such as cocoa, cashew, oil palm, rubber, among others, have high economic value, and research activities into these crops remain the sure way of enhancing their value. In our next segment, records of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security will spotlight the research breakthroughs being recorded by the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, the Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, and the Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria in order to improve cash crops farming in Nigeria. Keep watching.
Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIN, is a national research institute with a mandate to research into genetic improvement and value addition of 5 cash crops of economic importance to Nigeria, namely cocoa, cola, coffee, cashew, and tea. The institute has made breakthroughs in research works, leading to significant improvement in the production of its mandate crops. Research into cocoa has greatly improved the various varieties of the crop. The new varieties can produce in 2 years after planting instead of the 5 years taken by the old variety.
A lot of breakthroughs have been made. I will just mention a few of some of the breakthroughs that we have. Let me start with the breeding. Initially, we imported a lot of cocoa. It's not indigenous to here. We imported the materials from the Amazon basin. We have the F3 Amazon, we have Amelinado, we have all other new old varieties that we imported into the country when we started research into cocoa. Those materials, in terms of yield, their yield is not that very high. But through the research that we have done over the years, we have been able to increase the yield of the varieties that we have now that are better than what we already have. For example, initially the materials that I mentioned might be producing about 500 kg per hectare. But now we have materials that produce 2,000 kg per hectare.
Researches made by the CRIN also avail farmers with the necessary guide that can help them succeed in cocoa farming, as well as other crops under the mandate of CRIN.
In 2011, CRIN released 8 new varieties, and we named them TC1, TC2, up to TC8. So the aggregate of them are called TC series, and that's what we are giving to our farmers now. They are the ones that possess all these attributes I've mentioned, establishing within 2 years, high resistant against disease and pests, production of good chocolate flavor, more butter, cocoa butter, and the quantity that produce minimum of 1,500 kilograms per hectare per year, instead of maximum of 400 kilograms per hectare per year of the old type.
The Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFOR, has over the years recorded research breakthroughs in oil palm development, which has led to an increase in the production of the crop in Nigeria.
In the area of breeding and selection, that is the planting material that we know, the seed that we give out, we have had what we call several points of development. We have had the first cycle, we have the second cycle material which we released, then we are presently into the third cycle. Now what we mean by that is that we have a hybrid material called Tenera. That Tenera yields oil, much oil compared to the previous materials that we had.
For Dr. Philip Oviasoge, oil palm plantation farming is a very lucrative business and urge anyone with a suitable land to venture into.
It's a very good thing when you get into oil palm farming. It's a tree crop. It may need some space. Once you have just an hectare, you are able to do maybe about 140 or 150 trees as your strength takes your source of income. But suffice it to saying that just a tree, if you just have a tree of oil palm with contemporary pricing, you could get between 28 to 30,000 naira in a year on a tree after all expenses. So when you have, if you do that extrapolation by 150 trees, you know what it comes to. After all expenses, in a year you could get up to 300, 400,000 on an hectare. That is on oil. We have not talked about the kernel, the oil from the kernel. We have not talked about value addition in other parts of it, the bunches, even the empty bunches that you could turn into fertilizers, organic fertilizers.
This is the headquarters of Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria, RRIN, located in Iyanomo area of Benin in Edo State, Nigeria. The Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria has the mandate to research into genetic improvement of natural, gum arabic and other latex producing plant, improvement of agronomic practices including cultivation and exploitation techniques, processing, preservation, storage and utilization of natural rubber, gum arabic and other latex producing plants, farming system in relation to cultivation of latex producing plants, among others.
Our mandate is to develop the natural rubber, to carry out research for the development of natural rubber, gum arabic and other latex producing plants of economic importance. Our vision is to be a leading research center both in Africa and the world in terms of these economic crops.
The Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria over the years braced up in finding solutions to the challenges bedeviling rubber production in Nigeria. One of the areas of this effort is the genetic improvement of rubber to make it a high-yielding clone of varieties. Scientists have improved rubber production through evaluation in the laboratory, planting of seeds, growing the nursery, and the boarding system.
We collect the seeds from the field, and like the word goes, nursery is a place where the plants are nursed, are given tender care, proper care, because that's the bedrock. The way we take care of them from the onset tells how their maturity is going to be. And likewise, the soil environment in which they grow on. So, the nursery generally is the first stage of growing good rubber to get a matured and viable plantation.
The efforts of research from the nursery, boarding and other research sections have led to breakthroughs in developing high-yielding varieties from what they used to be in the wild.
In breeding session, over the years, there had been research effort, and that effort has yielded positively in increased latex production. When the institute was started, it was unselected seeds that we were using in establishing the plantations. And as such, the yield range at that time was around 300 kilograms per hectare per year. But at a time, the institute made some effort and it brought in some foreign clones or varieties. And these foreign clones were yielding about 1,600 kilograms per hectare.
The Institute has also made breakthroughs in the area of disease prevention and control in rubber production, and they have been helpful to farmers.
We have disease management schedules to help our farmers manage diseases that will come up at every stage. From nursery, you have been to the nursery, from nursery to field. What are the diseases that are coming up? How are these diseases managed? These are areas of intervention.
The belief over time was that rubber does not grow alongside other crops, and that discouraged some farmers from engaging in rubber farming. To surmount this challenge, the Institute researched and introduced intercropping system. The intercropping system is a technology developed by the Institute, which shows that rubber can be planted with other crops. One of the cash crops that can be planted alongside rubber to increase farmers' income is Avenger tree.
Here we have rubber and ogbono, Avenger species. Avenger, you know Avenger, that is what we call ogbono. It's very expensive. One cup goes for about 1,000 now in the market. And this can give you, at maturity, can give you up to 2 bags of ogbono. So if you can have, like this farm can take up to 40 round. So, and the technology is to give 10 meters away from the rubber rows, and you have this round the farm. So this will add to the income that the farmer takes home. And this will continue even after the maturity of the rubber.
The Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria also developed technologies that encourage planting arable crops such as cassava, maize, among others, to generate income for farmers while waiting for the plant to mature.
This year, 1 hectare of rubber plus cassava farm will give you not less than 400 to 500 naira in 1 hectare. And the economic profitable analysis with naira 450 to 500,000. That is what we sold from, you sell from 1 hectare of cassava. So, and then from the profitable analysis we did for 4 years, for every 1 naira you invested in this farm, you are getting 2 naira 80 kobo return.
The Institute has also made breakthroughs in good agronomic practices that would enhance production. Rubber is best planted from June when there is enough rainfall. It does require using heavy-duty machines in land preparation, in addition to weeding, fertilization, and irrigation when necessary.
For any successful rubber planting, we need to follow good agronomic protocols. Very, very important. Usually, we start from land preparation. Land preparation is key. We also look ab initio on soil sampling and analysis. The soil sampling and analysis give us an idea of the nutrient status and the suitability of the soil for rubber cultivation. Then, during the process of land preparation, we always avoid using heavy-duty machineries to remove the vegetation, because the soil under which rubber grows is very fragile. So we don't just bring in bulldozer and push the vegetation away. It's done systematically.
About 1 millimeter thick is just enough.
The Rubber Research Institute of Nigeria has also developed a tapping technique that prolongs the lifespan of the rubber tree. The institute has this research farm and demonstrates the right way of tapping the rubber tree. The process of wood tapping of rubber begins from marking the tree.
If you look at my definition, there are some salient points there. Collecting latex, which is harvesting, fine, that is what we are doing. But I also did mention that you should preserve the lifespan of the tree. Now, the average lifespan of rubber tree is 30 years. That when you plant a seed and you didn't do any cut on it, it's expected, average, that that tree should live for 30. We are also advising and training that even when you are tapping, you are not supposed to reduce that lifespan.
The actual tapping commences after 7 years of planting the rubber plant, and it must be tapped in this pattern.
You come very early in the morning and tap. Are you getting it? So I'm going to be demonstrating tapping, how this tapping is being done, so that we see it. This is a tapping knife that is used for tapping. This is a tapping knife that is used for tapping, and what you do, as I said, come very early in the morning to commence your tapping. But the first step you take when you want to commence tapping is to remove this material. We call it lace. You can see me removing it now. This is the coagulated latex on this tree as a result of the tapping that was done before now. So it's expected that you first of all remove it. It is rubber. If you are going to produce coagula, you can put it inside your latex cup. But it's coagulated latex, it's rubber.
Then with your tapping knife, you are going to be making a very tiny cut, not more than 1 millimeter of the bark, along this tapping cut that you have been cutting continuously each day you come for tapping. And when you do that, you are going to expose the vessels present within the back of this tree carrying this latex, known as the latiferous vessels. So when you cut, you are exposing the vessels, and then the latex is being coming out through those vessels and flow down. Just a light shave will be enough. As I said before, about 1 millimeter thick is just enough, back consumption. Now you're going to see the latex dripping. Can we see this? So when you make this tiny cut, you are going to be having your latex drip into your latex cup.
Research is better appreciated when you hear testimonies of those that have applied it for the betterment of their farming. In our next segment, Farmers Speak, we will hear from farmers how researches made by these institutes have helped them improve farm production.
CRIN has been making a kind of, how do I say, they have been working in terms of making sure they give us new breeds. The federal government too have been able also to work with CRIN and work with CIFA and work with Cocoa and Nigeria together to make sure that we provide the new breed that gives our farmers about 2 metric tons per hectare. These are what the new breed that, and it takes 18 months. In terms of fermentations, in terms of sun-dry, we have also been able to instill it on our farmers to make sure that, the only way that those people eating chocolate can have value, have a good aroma of Nigerian cocoa and put more money into it, is to make sure that we ferment very well.
I will always, first of all, appreciate God for his wisdom and his strength given to me to be able to achieve this business, this farm business. So he has really helped me and my family a lot. So it's just like, I can't even describe it. It just was someone that moved from step 1 to step 10. So you know what that means. So, so I will even use this medium to even encourage the youth out there that family business is not what they look maybe is suffering. It's not suffering. Today, being who I am is just this farm that you are saying so make me to be who I am.
Rubber business is very, very lucrative. Lucrative in the sense that among of the permanent crops, rubber farming is the most lucrative aspect of it, because especially most of the people, they are running away because of gestation period of rubber 7 years. But now with the technology from rubber research, introducing what we call intercropping. So that intercropping, it allows the farmer to make use of the avenue, doing the intercropping, whatever proceed getting from that intercropping, they use it to maintain their rubber. So within the short period now, Ogun State will be the highest producer of the rubber, because that intercropping, people are now familiar, the farmers are familiar with it. And presently, coming to the planting season now, that intercropping alone, it have gone a long way for the farmers to have interest in rubber farming.
From what you have seen and heard, a lot have been done by research institutes in Nigeria to increase the yield of cocoa, cashew, oil palm, and rubber trees. Farmers and other investors can take advantage of the research breakthroughs to increase their productivity and livelihoods. This is where we draw the curtain on this episode of the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. Keep a date with us, same time, same station next week for another episode. Thanks for watching. I am Gabriel Ojile. Good night.